It's a beautiful Wednesday night. And to all my students who wonder why I walk away when somebody is disrespectful, is that because I'm weak and I'm scared and I'm frightened? Please, I'll tell you stories of me standing up to people before. And I've stood up to grown men. I've directly confronted them. So here's the thing you have to understand these students that are disrespecting are, there's a lot of reasons for that, okay? Um, but it's unacceptable, regardless. And, sometimes they're looking for attention, sometimes they're trying to avoid attention, sometimes just because they're bored. Maybe they are bored with the lesson, right? And it's their way of drawing attention away from the fact that they don't want to work. Other times, it's their way of distracting other people from the fact that they don't know how to do the work. And we've seen that before in prior years. But I want to tell you something here. I don't fall for it any longer. The teacher who reacts to every little word is going to have a tough time. So let me give you a little insight, a little picture of what happens when somebody disrespects me. I'm not going to waste my time try to say, oh, you can't do that. Oh, stop that. They are looking for a reaction. So if a student does something to distract and a teacher responds to everything, that student will control that teacher. So what happens when you walk away? Are you weak and stupid? Look, I don't act like I would on the street in a classroom. You have to understand that. I'm a professional. So if you hear me say to a student, they say something like, you blankety blank, 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 blank. And if you hear me pause and say nothing, it's because I've been trained to do that. And perhaps to say to the person, interesting. Would you please repeat that? So that they can eat their words. And I can put it on a referral form. So I had a couple of students that were disrespecting me in a class. I walked away. I just watched. And of course I said, you must respect me. And then I did this. Let's talk in the hallway. Okay? And to the first student, I asked, what gives you the right to talk to me that way? Who talks to you this way? Do you talk to all the adults in your life this way? Do you think it's okay to talk to me this way? Do I talk to you that way? Could not answer the question. I have been trained to ask questions. Well, Shaw, you shouldn't let them disrespect you. You should be a man. You should say, hey, you can't disrespect me. People, I don't need to put on a front. Okay? So there are consequences. You see, you assume I walk away and I go, oh my gosh, I can't do anything. He's disrespecting me. I have to put up with it. I wrote a referral for one student, and the other student had more serious issues with something he said, and I put it on a step. Now, he may not care about the step. That's okay. He sure will care about the step when it becomes 3 steps. And parents are coming in, and if the person has a PO, if that person's contacted, maybe they won't care, but look, it's their problem. It's their problem. And to those who are disrespecting, I have to say, you know, the joke's on you, my friend. The joke's on you. Because people are not respecting you for that. They're giving you dirty looks. And I'm just going to stop right there. I'm not going to say more. I could say a lot more, but no. So here's a key in life, people, that you may not understand. Meekness is not weakness. Look up the word meek, M-E-E-K. I'm just kind by nature, I think. And I have got a rough side as well. Okay? I can stand up to people when I need to. But students, no. I'm the adult in the room. So they can say whatever they want. They can say the F word. They can talk about my mom, my dad. It doesn't matter. Because the person who lets everything get to them is a little boy. And you may not understand this right now, whether you're the person disrespecting or you're the person observing in shock. And if you're tempted to disrespect me because I don't do this or that in the middle of class, well, they're going to find out. They're going to realize that the joke was on them. They look so stupid and petty and immature in class. And here's the other thing I have to say. Check yourself, people. Check yourself. You are looking for a showdown. You're looking for me to, I'm going to call him out. I'm going to tell him off. The Bible says a man who controls himself is better than a man who controls an entire city. These politicians out there, the president, Congress, governors, mayors, city council members, they have the easy job. You know what's the hard job? Controlling your own emotions and your own words, your words. To those of you that are looking for a showdown, like, come on, Shaw. You want us to respect you? You need to do something about that. Check yourself. You're wanting me to be your daytime television entertainment because you're used to drama. I don't live in that world, people. I'm going to live in the world I want to live in. And if you can't respect me for that, you don't deserve my respect. But here's the thing. Try to figure this out while you're up there disrespecting me for not acting like the sort of way that you imagine a real man is supposed to act when somebody disrespects him. What I have to say about that is, I can still show you respect. And a real man is one who takes control. I guarantee you, if somebody did that to me on the street, I would embarrass the heck out of them. But I'm not like that. I'm going to be the adult. There's a lot of things I can say about students and to students. There's a lot of things. I don't want to go there. You know why? Because I have a heart. I'm not going to say to somebody, well, oh, you're calling me a name? Well, I could come up with 30, 40 names for you. And if I give you 5 of them, they're going to stick and you will not forget those as long as you live. See, I'm not into creating that kind of pain. I came into this profession to be different. Wrap your mind around that. Now, yeah, there are times where I say to myself, you know what? What's wrong with me? How come I let people get away with that? How come I let them say that to me? And here's the thing about that. Most of the stuff people say, it just doesn't matter. It's just words. Now, words are important. Yes, words can destroy people's hearts and their minds. But these are insults. They mean nothing at all. They're nonsense. If you write them down on paper, these names, I'm not going to reduce myself to that level. Should it bother me? Maybe. Maybe there are people out there, yeah. Okay, no one ever says a rude word to them because they're just so whatever, that no one would ever do that to them. I'm not that person, okay? I've got my weaknesses. I'm not always consistent. I'm this, I'm that. Okay? Now try that on. Your definition of a man, a person who's a strong man, does that person have the ability to tell the truth about themselves and to own up and to admit when they're wrong, they're weak, they did something stupid? Can they? I hope so, because that's what a man is. You know, Gladys Knight is a famous singer. Look her up on YouTube. Gladys Knight and the Pips from Motown era. Her manager, Terry, her road manager, said to me, because she knew me, she said, Shaw, I've never seen your meekness as weakness. I said, thank you, Terry. Because while people walk all over me and because I'm nice, I'm kind, I'm kind of childlike in that way, right? And people take advantage of that. People try, even a couple adults sometimes will disrespect. I confronted one the other day. But you know, it's really weird. You can tell who the good people are and who aren't. Those who will disrespect you, who don't know anything about you, will judge you when they won't spend 2 minutes in your class to see what you're about. Those people don't deserve for me to be bothered by their disrespect. Now, I'm going to go ahead and, again, I'm not going to go to their level. I'm not going to be petty. I'm not going to talk behind people's backs and mention names, you know? So, folks, that's what I have to say. And hopefully I've answered that question for you. Why, Shaw, do you let them do that? I didn't let them do that. There's a consequence. And then there's real consequences. If they couple that disrespect with some sort of misbehavior, they take something in the class, or they can't handle themselves with a group of people. You know, I've had students where, okay, welcome to my class at 3 o'clock or whatever time it was that they thought they were going to go to PE, but now, sorry, they can't handle it, so then now they're with me. So check that out, right? I mean, look, I'm trying to show you that I have a strong side, but I don't flaunt it very often. Watch the quiet ones. The quiet people like me are the people you need to worry about. Because when we get upset, watch out. Watch out. Because I'm professional. I don't hurt people. I don't wish them bad. I don't think, well, I hope their car goes off the bridge, or, oh, I hope they get bitten by a dog. It's not about that. But I've taken steps before. I've taken steps. And there was a installer working at a place that was servicing our company, and this person was making a lot of purposeful mistakes and not taking things seriously. And he messed with the wrong kitchen designer, because I used to design kitchens. And it's a high level job. You're selling people stuff for $50,000. Nowadays, that would be equivalent of $75,000 to $80,000. Every sale, I would make $80,000, like that. That equivalent, not every sale. Some were less. So I didn't mess around. I took my customers seriously. That installer messed with my customers? They couldn't get rid of this guy. But you see, I know how to write. I know how to write letters. And I know who to send them to. And I know how to document factual information. And so that person quit. That person didn't want to get fired from the company as an installer. So, look, strength, think about it this way: lions do not need to roar. They don't. I don't need to get up in front of somebody who's being stupid. Say, you can't do that. You'll never do that to me. You'll never disrespect me. I'm sort of telling them that way, in my own way. I have my own way of saying that. It's not in front of you guys. Oh, I will let them have their moment. Go ahead. You know why? I'll say it again for the 10th time. When you react to that person's disrespect, you are letting them control you. That's why I walk away. I don't give them the satisfaction. Okay, I don't give them the show. And so, if that continues, I will say to them to repeat themselves very clearly so I can write it down. And I'll ask them to repeat that so they can eat their words. Have a nice day.